Hey Internet, Dracofunk here.
And
And
ShaggyB also here.
yeah, this is Highway 47. We're doing my reusable space program. And man, I don't know how to say this, but like everything, it's not gone wrong, but put
It's
it
not
this
gone
way.
right either.
This is episode we're in episode 10 right now.
hmm
As you can see, this is the big mining craft, and I'm just going to transfer fuel. This is its first fuel run, and it actually fills up all the fuel tanks on the station, all the ships. It's ready to send back a load of fuel to Enterprise Station. So
All right.
it has completed its mission, and it's ready to go back to the moon. I'm going to go ahead and send it on a small orbit, but I'm not going to land it this episode.
All right.
So this is episode 10. Everything that is filmed was intended to be in episode 9.
nine
And,
nine just took a while.
well, what happened was the 9, there was a whole mining montage, and basically the small miner, it worked, but it was not very efficient.
Gotcha.
So that's why I built that miner. And now the small miner's still attached there. And I think I'm gonna send it to Minmus.
I was gonna say, yeah, it might be good to repurpose it.
Yeah, I'm just checking. I'm gonna put a little bit more fuel on the tanker craft. Have you seen the tanker that
I don't think I have.
it's a little awkward to fly because I put the lander cam or land not cam can
hmm
facing forward, so I got to make sure I control it from the docking port.
Gotcha. Or do everything 90 degrees offset. Or
It just doesn't work. I'm just topping off the fuel tank right now,
hmm
uh, and it has tons of Delta V. Basically, it's going to go. I'm going to send it right now to Kerbin Orbit to the space station,
Okay.
and it's going to basically dock with the space station, dump its fuel, and turn around and come right back to the moon.
Perfect.
And I had at one point when I realized things were going long, I was going to end episode 9 here
hmm
as the fade out,
Oh.
and it just ended up not working out. And I had all this leftover footage, and this episode ends up being long.
This is like episode 9B.
I guess so. It's going to be episode 10.
Gotcha.
That's fine. I'm back here at the moon base. Basically, everything's been waiting because of the fuel crunch,
hmm
and now that that's over, I think I did this out of order because the mining ship is still there. No, I haven't done that yet. No, we're still in order.
All right.
I just forgot what I'm doing. So I'm going to send the space bus back first.
Okay.
So this is going to undock in the dark, just because that's what happens.
I do appreciate that, the post-release versions of this. At least you can see in the dark. You can see something.
Yeah.
Because there were an awful lot of beta versions where it was just absolute pitch black, which is realistic, but still.
Yeah. So this is my burn to escape the moon and get a Kerbin encounter.
Right?
I just like the cinematics of
Of
the
course.
space bus.
It's a good-looking craft. It really is.
I'm gonna put it into a 200-kilometer orbit. I know that's not the most efficient.
Well, you got plenty of fuel, right?
It's got plenty of Delta V. Like even after that burn, it still has like 2,700.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's going to go grab an ore tank to put probably on the other side of that fuel tank right there.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is the tanker is going to head to Kerbin as well.
Perfect.
So basically, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to undock it. I got to turn on the RCS, the SAS, make sure I'm controlling it. Like, see how everything's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not oriented right. Come on. Control from there. Now.
There we go. Okay.
And the tanks, it's not taking into account that whole orange tank for fuel. And the side tanks aren't even full, and it still has 2,700 Delta V.
Yeah, you could take it to Joule. Almost.
This probably can make it to Joule.
Sweet.
And if I'm going to go take this to Joule, probably what I'll do is I'll put another orange fuel tank on the front of it. That orange fuel tank can actually come out, and the tank, the RCS and ore tank in the front, can also detach.
That's a complex design.
It was a little bit difficult getting it to balance.
I'm sure, yeah.
But it has the landing can on the top, and it has a passenger compartment on the bottom. I had meant to offload the 4 passengers, but nope, they're gonna go. They're gonna go back to Kerbin Orbit and then back to the moon.
I mean, I would imagine that they'd be ready for,
There goes the station.
There goes the station. They'd be ready for some adventure at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to put a colony on the moon, and they're gonna be living on the surface.
Wait.
And I think what I'm going to do is take the small miner, and I'm going to send it to Minmus. But the most efficient way at this point is to actually send it back to Kerbin.
And then retransfer from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You want to hear a spoiler?
Sure.
Somehow it gets screwed up, and I miss my encounter. I don't know how.
Oh.
I had an alarm set.
Uh-huh.
And it needed after I get my maneuver set, it's not quite there because it took a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a correction maneuver, and when the alarm went off for the correction maneuver, Minmus had already passed.
And then this had just fucked off.
Yeah.
Gravity is a cruel and unpredictable mistress.
So probably what I'm going to have to do is it probably still has enough Delta V, but I'm probably going to have to dock it back at the prize station in a later episode.
Right.
So here I'm trying to get a Minmus encounter, and I'm going to get one, but it's not gonna stay. So I created the alarm. And now I have 3 ships in motion, and I gotta stop doing this.
Yeah.
Because this is what caused this episode to be so long, was instead of doing one thing at a time, I'm doing 4, because now I have the moon bus heading back to Kerbin, the tanker heading back to Kerbin, the small miner heading back to Kerbin. I have the mining ship in orbit of the moon waiting to go down, but it's gonna stay there until episode 11.
What you need is actual crew. You go here, you go here, you go here.
I'm trying to be efficient, and this is really how things would be working. Is it's not going to be send one ship here to do its mission, and everybody else is just sitting there waiting for them to get done.
Yeah.
It
would be great if Mechanical Jeb had a high cost. And then that way you would be disincentivized to just automate everything.
Yeah.
But you still could if you needed to.
Well, right now, this space bus is doing its insertion burn to establish itself in a 200-kilometer orbit.
Excellent.
It was the first to arrive at Kerbin.
Right.
I think I'm actually going to end up docking the tanker first. And the tanker is going to dock at the same docking port as the SSTO did.
Okay.
I had wanted to send up another 4 passengers on the SSTO, and they could either hitch a ride on the space bus or the tanker. Well, the tanker's full, but as you know, the SSTO is still on the ground um, waiting to unload Jebediah for his special mission that he goes on later
Yes. Right.
that you know about.
I do know about it. I learned about it after because I was shanghaied. Had a drink, the world got fuzzy, then the floor fell out, and then I woke up, ready for a special mission.
Surprisingly, you still had both your kidneys.
Exactly, I know. Well, I mean, I'm gonna need them.
Oh, it's 293, 187. That's close enough.
Yeah, it's fine.
And here's the tanker doing its insertion burn.
Okay.
And, all this stuff is really close together.
Yeah.
And it's just because I'm trying to do all this at once. I'm really happy with the way this ship turned out.
Mm-hmm.
And I can swap out those fuel tanks. Basically, the ship is really what you see, plus minus the fuel tank in the back and the front. And it's got a RCS tank in the middle that has 2 large docking ports
Right.
in the middle.
Hmm.
And it gives a really nice interior view where you can actually like see out the window into the ship, and that's kind of what I was going for. I
Okay.
always get sad when I do like a view from the crew cockpit, and it's just like you can see, the windows aren't that big, and all
Right.
you see is black, which, yeah, I know that's realistic, but sometimes,
Well, I mean, it was realistic in early space missions, and I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of modern spacecraft that have better views and more comfort and all that stuff. But
well, yeah, especially, did you see the inspiration for the
no, I
ship?
didn't. Uh-uh.
Okay, so, um, do you know anything about it?
I don't.
Really?
Enlighten me. No.
Okay, so you know how, what's his name, Branson
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
Bezos, they both had their private space missions where they did a suborbital hop.
Hmm. Yeah.
So Elon Musk is like, I'm going to send 4 civilians up into orbit higher than the International Space Station for
Ooh.
4 days.
Ooh.
And so they built, the Dragon space pod.
Hmm.
How it normally has a docking port on the end.
Hmm.
Well, there was no docking. They weren't going to dock, so instead they put a cupola up there for viewing,
Okay.
and they basically launched 4 civilians into at about a 500-kilometer orbit, so higher than
Jeez.
the International Space Station for four
Right.
days,
Hmm.
well, 3 or 4 days, and they made a whole Netflix series, and leading up to it, they published like the first 3 episodes before they launched,
Hmm. Wow.
and it's them going through training and barfing in a bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the space tanker has made its rendezvous burns and is coming up on Enterprise Station.
All right.
And I'm going to show you what I meant by the interior views, which was the entire reason I designed the tanker this way.
Sure.
So I'm just setting up the docking approach, and I took a long time, so I think I cut it out right there just switch to the interior view. So I'm going for the same docking port. Here
There it
we
is.
are. So this
And
is the
meters.
interior view coming up on the space station.
That's pretty cool. Like that would be a pretty cool way to do it with that kind of a
Yeah.
view.
Now, I had intended for this to be a quick burn or quick turn and burn to refuel fuel tanks.
First you do the splash and dash, then you do the turn and burn.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm doing.
Right.
And it gets to be pretty precarious because notice how the station is like starting to
Yeah.
dance around.
A little wobbly.
I
Little jiggly.
Yeah, I need to turn off all the SAS things on the space tanker, and
Yeah.
I'm
I still
like,
say, have you tried at least just cutting them down, like using the caps lock and just cutting them down to the less intense SAS mode?
it doesn't really work.
It doesn't really work. Okay.
Yeah, there.
Wiggle, wiggle, jiggle, 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 wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, and for some reason, right now the delta V for the space tanker says it's at 0.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good.
I tried switching to the station and back to it, and it didn't work.
Neat.
I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. I know this is not 0. So I
So
went
one way to
ahead,
find out.
set it up for 845, 46 delta V burn to get back to the moon.
That's a moon. Okay. I thought that was Minmus for a second, but that was there was a station. The station's orbit was
I'm
yeah.
not ready
Whoa,
to.
whoa.
I'm about to miss my burn. There we go.
There it goes.
I'm just about ready to start establishing a presence on Minmus,
Gotcha.
but I want to put a colony on the moon first.
I gotta wonder, is it Raul or Ed responsible for that crazy flip over maneuver there?
It's Ed.
Is it Ed?
It's completely Ed. And the space tanker is on its way to the moon, and this is the space bus. It has made its rendezvous maneuvers with the station, and I'm just trying to get it a little bit closer. And all it's going to do is dock to the bottom of the 2 tanks that are there. I think it's going to take the ore tank. I didn't want to. The space bus isn't made to be a tractor for the most part, so I didn't want to bring both of them back.
I feel like, like most buses, if you remove the passengers, then
Yeah.
yeah. But to have it do both, did people like the mass of the crew doesn't affect the vehicle in this game, does it?
I think it does now, actually.
Oh, good. I wonder if that's like it would be cool if that was slightly randomized,
Hmm.
like this guy weighs 112 kilograms. This guy weighs 98 kilograms. And
Kind of like
so
Pokemon.
say it again.
Kind of like Pokemon.
Kind of like Pokemon, yeah. They should. There should absolutely be a Kerbal Space Program Pokemon crossover, like Planet Galeria, and you go there, and there's a bunch of like weird shit. And
My sister just sent me a worrying text. I'm gonna ignore that.
oh, okay, cool. Space Bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got too dark, and I had to use the docking autopilot.
Ah, well, that's all right.
I I I don't use it that often.
I do feel like and within the within the parameters that you've set for yourself in this game, I do like that idea that MechJeb is there, but there is a huge cost.
Yeah.
Like like that person doesn't get to fly again, or using it burns up the crew module, and you have to land that vehicle and then replace the crew module, something like that.
So now I can see. Here's the space bus. It's docked with the station. Currently, I'm not full on fuel at the Enterprise station, but I can refuel the space bus. So it's going to leave Kerbin Orbit with a full tank of fuel, and it can go fly its mission back to the moon. And it's not going to really be worried about having, running out of fuel.
Right. I had to respond to Dracofunky there. Space bus with a trailer full of gas.
It's actually an empty trailer. Eventually,
It's going to be full.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
just a holding tank to hold extra ore.
Sure. That would be an interesting way to do. Like many people, I have long wanted to buy a used school bus and modify it.
Mhm.
Like that's a thing. It's one of those pipe dream sort of things. Not quite a bucket list thing because I don't know if it's realistic. It could be though, because used school buses are cheap. But anyway, I don't have a place to store one, and I feel like that would be a pretty cool way to do like a super long road trip in a bus. Would be to just like legitimately just get a tanker trailer and just fill the entire trailer with diesel. And just, like I've got 10,000 miles of range now. Ooh, the colony.
Yes.
Here we go. This is going to be great.
So the colony itself is a spaceship.
Nice.
So this is like my colony ship, you know.
My favorite thing about that launch was that you retracted the landing gear that's 2/3 of the way up the vehicle as soon as you launch.
I I got to do the spin.
Yep.
Here we go. Am I going to spin some more? A little bit. Lazily spin.
Oh, perfect. Nicely done.
Something broke, but
Eh,
you know.
the colony.
It's only carrying. It's got a pilot and 4 passengers.
Perfect. Munzer Kerman piloting the colony.
It can carry 12 more.
Sweet. What just happened? Oh.
I undocked it.
Okay.
And now it's going to make its burn to get into a stable orbit, and
All
then
right.
I'm going to send it right to the moon.
Perfect.
Uh, it's it's not perfect, but it's in an orbit right now where it's going to decay if I don't do something. But
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's currently decaying as it
it's
stands.
it's it's not gonna crash into the planet.
Right.
So here's
Yeah.
one of the cinematic views. I just
Looking good.
with the Highway 47 logo.
47 flag. I need to make a new slide template for season 2 of the 4 drink minimum, and I have a design in mind that will infuriate Vomit. And I'm torn between taking his suggestion and avoiding him getting absolutely just furiously angry with me and pissing him off because it'll be funny. I'm really torn. Because he had a good idea,
hmm
but I really kind of want to do my idea and just, you know, just let him lose his mind and probably you and Scradrick not be very happy with it either, but it'll be really funny.
I think you should save a little bit more of Vomit's money.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I feel bad when I give him too much crap. He's a nice guy. He only deserves some of what I do to him,
Mm-hmm.
But man, I want to.
So the alarm for the space boat went off,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed something.
What's that?
I'm going to crash into the moon.
You're gonna crash into the moon. Right as soon as I said what, I saw it. Yeah, that's it's a good thing the alarm went off.
So I'm gonna set a maneuver node to fix that.
That's a good plan.
Just
Yeah, just
just a little bit.
I mean, buses are tough. I've probably told the story. I was on Scradrick and I were both on like a charter bus once that ran over a stoplight. Like straight up, like cut the corner going around, like an intersection corner, and took out like an overhead light gantry pole, like took the pole out. Yeah, just absolutely wiped it out. The damage to the bus was a flat tire and like about a 3-foot long scratch in the paint. That was it.
Well, the space tanker just made its moon insertion burn, and
Awesome.
Like while this is like the space bus is like heading for a crash into the moon.
I was gonna say moon insertion sounds a little different when you're like literally on a collision course.
Well, and this is now I currently have 3 craft heading to the moon. And that's what I mean by, and I had like a 5 minutes in the 5 minutes that I had before this burn. To fix the space bus orbit, I had to make the moon insertion burn for the space tank. I just have too many things going on. But
yeah, we can't lose the space bus. That's like the flagship of our fleet here.
Well, I fixed that, and now I have to set. There's another alarm for the moon insertion burn, and this is just to bring the orbit of the tanker into a nice 200-kilometer parking orbit.
Right.
And I got just bringing the apoapsis down. And once I get everything in a nice, stable parking orbit, that'll be it for this episode.
All right, cool.
And next episode, we'll send the mining ship down to do another mining run. I really need to land some more boosters.
I am just happy that we saved the space bus.
It wasn't really in that much danger. I mean, I was going to see it. If I hadn't done anything, yeah, it would have crashed. But
yeah.
This is awesome. Now we're back to the colony. The colony's got to do its moon insertion burn.
All right.
To get in, establish an orbit. I'm really curious because I need to be paying attention to how much delta V it has, because not only does it have to get in orbit of the moon, it also has to land on the moon.
Well, the good news is you have a fuel source there. So if absolutely necessary, you can refuel it.
Yeah, but I don't really plan on docking this with the station at all.
Right.
In fact, I think I'm going to put it in a much lower orbit.
40K.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in a 40-kilometer orbit, because eventually this is just going to land.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it has enough delta V to do that.
Right.
But I need to find a good spot to land.
Is this colony just going to be the one building, or are you going to do like a whole complex?
This will be the main building, and I may add some stuff to it later. I need to get a rover down there. And that's it for this episode.
All right.
The space bus is in the orbit, the tanker, and the colony. And next time, we'll do all that stuff I said I'm going to do.
I am legitimately excited about the colony. Looking forward to it.
We need a good name for the colony.
The Moon Bus Garage. No, not Moon Bus Garage.
Put a link in the comments. That's it for today.
Yeah, put a name in the comments to name the colony. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll use your YouTube handle.
Awesome.
All right, everybody.
Good night.